Most parents have done a search for discipline hacks on Google. How to get kids to listen, what consequence will work, how do I stop defiant behavior? And underneath that search is often exhaustion and hopelessness. You've tried consequences, firm boundaries, staying strong, even rewards, sticker charts, and bribes. And they might work for a moment or a little while, but they don't stick. And you're left feeling like you're failing. Honestly, sometimes those strategies have their place. That's a blog for another time. But here's the truth. Most traditional discipline methods don't work long term, and in some cases, they can even cause harm, especially for our neurodivergent kiddos. I'll be the first to admit that I still can fall back into the patterns of using these discipline methods, even when I know better. This style of parenting that I'm talking about is often called authoritarian style. It's how a lot of us were raised. It's what I absorbed from parents, grandparents, teachers, and society. I grew up in the Super Nanny era, and I actually loved that show. I remember watching it as a kid with my mum. The episodes all look the same. You start with the out of control kids and, the weak parents who couldn't hold boundaries. Then the super nanny would sweep in and show them how to be strong, firm, and in control. I used to feel smug, thinking, my mum knows how to hold firm and do it right. She's strong. She knows what to do. When I parent, I'll do just the same. And recently, I looked her up as I was writing this blog, in fact, and found a short clip. And honestly, I was horrified. In the video, there was a young boy, not even 4 years old. He asked his mum for a sandwich. She said no, it was kind of vague, wait a bit or something. And he became upset. He kept like reaching for the food in the fridge and he was getting more and more upset. His mum just kept kind of gently repeating no. And that's when the super nanny interrupted. All right, it's time to put him in timeout for not listening. This little boy, he was already beside himself. He was then placed in this timeout area, which was a gate with a big timeout sign and a stool in front of it. His mum was then instructed to make him say sorry for not listening whilst he was crying and sobbing. I actually was in tears watching this, and I actually got like these whole body goosebumps, and they weren't in a good way. His brain was in survival mode at that time. His amygdala was lit up, and he had no capacity to process her words. Yet he was being punished for not understanding and for expressing his big feelings. This wasn't teaching or holding boundaries. It was actually confusing and full of disconnection. So, what was missing in that moment? Well, there was a lot, but just a few things. Like there was no clear expectation at the beginning. Um, you know, what did she want him to be doing at that time? What were the expectations around food at that time? There was also, saying to him, just wait a bit is so vague, and especially for his age, like how long is a piece of string? And, what if he actually was really hungry? That's just a universal need that needs to be met. Like, hello, we've all heard of hunger, right? Being hangry. So, I mean, that's just a few bit. And I could keep going on, but this part's not the point of my story. I actually want to talk about where beliefs as parents often come from, these beliefs that drive behavior. So, I guess if this is what our generation grew up with on TV and watching this on TV, like I did, of course we thought this was the right way to parent. And for me as well, I know my own beliefs used to sound like, parents must be in control. Kids should respect adults. And if you don't punish or do consequences, they'll never learn. And most of us carry these beliefs too. And even if we've done some work and we know better, they can often be subconscious beliefs. So you might not even really know they're there or be aware of them. And that's because they come from our upbringing, from a time we were very small, um, and we get conditioned. And I feel sorry, what I'm trying to say is you might have learnt these ways subconsciously, think it's the right way to do it, but it's not necessarily based on any fact or any truth. So I feel really fortunate that through my work in behavior support, I got to discover another way, one that's far more compassionate and supportive for both the parent and the child. Traditional discipline isn't failing because you're doing it wrong. It's failing because it's built on outdated beliefs about control, obedience, compliance, and respect. So, why don't these work, or, why can they potentially cause harm? Now, you might be thinking, and I still hear this from a lot of people that are, in this kind of way, but doesn't it work? By the end of the episode, the kids were better behaved. They're doing what they're meant to be doing. There's less crazy behaviors. So here's why it looks like it works, but doesn't hold long term. So, in fact, the child may just be shutting down that behavior. Well, it may shut down behavior in the moment, but doesn't actually address the unmet need underneath. Children may learn to mask emotions and comply out of fear rather than building true skills. So I know this was one that's definitely true for me and any people pleasers out there. This is why we people please, because we were taught to put other people's needs before our own. It focuses on compliance, not connection. I'm going to kind of mention this, but kids learn to fear consequences, not build problem solving or flexibility skills. And it doesn't address the root cause of the behavior. For neurodivergent kids, especially, it can fuel shame and teach them that they are bad or wrong for not having the skills to do the thing. Giving a timeout as well to a child that's already distressed, that communicates your feelings deserve punishment and you don't deserve connection when you're upset. Over time, children may learn big feelings equal pain and disconnection. So, what to do instead? So, well, here are some positive parenting solutions you can try. Always, if a child is distressed, connection before correction. Their brain is not ready for any learning or listening, so regulation comes first. Then solutions can come second. Curiosity over control. Ask yourself, what's getting in their way? If their regulation's okay, see if you can problem solve together. Invite your child into some solutions. See if they're going to work for them. We love the collaborative and proactive solutions approach. So give this a Google search. There's heaps of free resources on Lives in the Balance website. Believe in the not yet theory. So your child may not yet have the skills. Doesn't mean they're not going to develop them, they just don't have them yet. Skills like flexibility, frustration tolerance, and problem solving take time. Kids do the best they can, like Dr. Ross Green says, or another one, if they could, they would, and when they can, they will. The hard truth and a gentle reminder. These old discipline beliefs run deep. We're among the first generations questioning them, breaking cycles, and doing things differently. And it's not easy. These patterns live in our nervous system. That's why even when we know better, we still can slip. I still do. The work isn't about perfection. It's about continuing to notice, shift, and slowly rewire. So here's a reflection prompt for you. The next time you feel the urge to use a discipline method like we've talked about, just pause and notice what beliefs come up. Does the belief, like I need to be in control come up, or they should listen, or something else. What you notice is going to be the first step to change. So let's look ahead. These discipline responses are not random. They're driven by old beliefs stored in the body and the nervous system. Next week, I'll share more on conditioning, how the rules and messages we grew up with echo into our parenting today, and how to start shifting them. If you enjoy reading or listening to our weekly blog posts, please leave a reply in the comments. We'd absolutely love to hear from you.